What's going on, everybody? This is another episode of the Inspiration Station. This is a podcast where we talk to normal, everyday people, just like you and me, who are doing what they love, accomplishing their goals, or in the process of doing so. Today, we're talking to Ray from Iron Fork Nutrition. He is a nutrition and fitness coach. He is the owner of Iron Fork Nutrition. He is a believer in using fitness and nutrition as not only a way of improving physical health, but mental health as well. So thank you, Ray. Thank you for being on the podcast today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dude, so I want to really quickly say that I know Ray because of Derek. If you guys know Derek, he was on my podcast, episode 9. But yeah, he introduced us, and I honestly don't even know, like, for what.
I think it was through the podcast we did with him before.
Oh, what? That was the first time we met up? Was it? I think it was.
Yeah, that's the first time we met in person. We'd talked a few times before. Actually, I met you because I won
Oh, you did?
a drawing, got some free clothing from you.
You did. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that kind of sparked up a conversation, and we kind of gelled from there.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, I shipped it. I totally remember it now.
I still rock that shirt, too.
Hey, let's go.
It's one of my favorite deadlift shirts.
Hey, let's go. So, Ray, will you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know we were talking about, as soon as I walked into your office, I just saw those 2 guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of music are you into?
I listen to everything, to be honest. I listen to a lot of punk. I grew up listening to a lot of punk, a lot of the AFI type stuff. That was big when I was a kid.
Newer AFI or like older, like the Phoenix, like
yes.
Art
of Drowning stuff.
Like when they were like legit like punk rockers.
Going crazy. So when I was young, I used to listen to like Korn and Slipknot. And
everything. Yeah, I did.
And then I went to a show and saw AFI play when they were doing their Art of Drowning tour.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what in the hell is this kind of music? And I fell in love. It was fast. They were singing about something real, and I dug it.
Dude.
So I grew up listening to a whole lot of punk, but like Pink Floyd is my favorite band. They're not punk by any means, but I listen to a lot of different stuff. Everything from jazz or chill step stuff to hard metal. And when I'm at the gym, I listen to a lot of like traditional Norse Viking badass.
No way.
Music.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that from your beard.
From my beard. Yeah, maybe one day I'll have a big old Viking beard.
Yeah. You're halfway there, you know. All right, Ray, I want to get into the nitty-gritty because I know your story is super interesting. Before we were even recording, we were talking a little bit about like your business, Iron Fork Nutrition. And but before we get into that, can you tell us how that started to develop? So talk a little bit about your childhood going into your teen adult life.
Childhood, okay.
You grew up here?
I did. I grew up here in Orem, actually. I went to Mountain View. I was always a really skinny kid. Like I graduated high school, I think I was 125, 130 pounds maybe.
Like a swimmer type, like body fit?
No, I wasn't even that fit. I was like Skeletor.
No way. Stop.
I wrestled at 125, 130 pounds in high school, and just because that's where it was I was always athletic, but I just wasn't big enough to do football or anything, so I loved basketball, but I'm short. I'm 5'9", and I was 5'9" since like 9th grade. So I just wasn't physically built for anything, so I wrestled because it was all weight classes. But after high school, I joined the Air Force, and then while I was deployed, there was nothing really to do there, just kind of sit there and, I mean, besides your job, there's a lot to do, but when you had some free time, you could either sit there and think about home and worry yourself, or you could go to the gym. So I had a buddy take me to the gym. They had this big, like 80-man tent, one of those cool dome-looking tents.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a makeshift gym in there. We had plywood floors on the sand and bench presses that we'd break through and everything, but started learning to lift and put on a few pounds and started get a little more confidence. Like, this is kind of interesting. So I wanted to learn more about what to eat because I wanted to put on some size, just some weight. And so I ordered a nutrition textbook. Just got on, I think it was eBay at the time, and found one and had it shipped to me. And, you know, a couple months later, by the time it gets overseas, I read it and really, really fell in love with like the nutrition side of things and decided that that's what I needed to do. And so I put on, while I was deployed, I probably put on 20 pounds. And when you're 130, going from 130 to 150, it was a big difference.
Dang.
And so people noticed and started asking what I did, and I didn't want to lead anybody astray, so I only know it worked for me. So I need to learn much more. I need to learn the science, the real science of all this. So I just kept reading and learning and going to school and getting certified in different things, and became an actual coach that can help everybody.
So from there, it was just taking off, and you wanted to. So were you more focused on the nutrition or the physical aspect?
So I really liked nutrition because it seemed like that's where there was so much misinformation about, you know, there's all these fad diets that come up, and there's, at least what I would see was you would get people who would follow the fads, and they would work for a minute and then they wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then they would try the next one. So they do this kind of roller coaster dieting. And, you know, I could see being on the outside of that, like, this isn't healthy to do. But, and then I would see the mental side of things where they would never really make progress, you know. They would lose 20 pounds, then gain 25 back. Then the next fad would come around, they'd lose 30, but gain 40 back. So they never made any long-term progress. And what I saw that doing was kind of destroying them mentally. Because they would just decide, well, I must be broken. There's something wrong with me, I can't lose weight. And it wasn't, and it's not them, it was their approach. And so I really like to focus on the nutrition side because I wanted to help those people. I wanted to help everybody. But I hated seeing people give up because of that. Like, no, this isn't your fault. This is the salesman's fault, really, selling you this crap diet. So I wanted to learn the science so that I could really help those people. And training, I mean, I love training. It's a form of therapy for me. So I would always train, and then, it was more on like the hypertrophy side, from building muscle and everything. Probably just my own insecurities growing up so skinny. But then, what was it, about probably 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. It was a huge relief to get diagnosed, actually, because I've had issues my whole life and could never figure out what they were. So finally got diagnosed through a rheumatologist, and a lot of times when people get that diagnosis, there's a whole lot of kind of pain involved. It means a lot of your nerves will send pain signals for no reason, so you'll hurt in random places for no reason. Sometimes my knee might hurt. I don't know if there's something wrong with it, or it's just my fibro, or my hands almost always hurt. It's like my grip is kind of garbage because of that. But a lot of people will say, okay, well, I have this, so now I have an excuse not to try anymore. And that's not how I am. I do not like being controlled by anything. I get really upset when someone tells me what to do. And it was the same thing with this diagnosis. We're like, all right, well, I'm super happy that I know what's going on now, but it's not going to stop me. So I started really pushing harder, and at that point started getting much more into the strength side of things, and started, training more powerlifting stuff. Right now I'm doing a lot of strongman stuff, and a lot of it is just kind of what I try to teach my clients is, it's not because I think I'm going to be a pro strongman, or I might not even place in a show ever. The reason I do it is because I'm not supposed to be able to, and I don't think that's cool. So yeah. I'm going to do it because I'm going to prove to myself that I can, and that's kind of a much bigger reason than any trophy or medal. So that's kind of where the training stuff really started picking up.
So you said that when you were in the Air Force, what year was that?
When I was deployed in the nutrition side.
Yeah.
That was 2007.
2007, and then from there you were kind of getting to know like fitness, and then.
I mean, in between there, I had gone to school for nutrition. I got certified as a personal trainer, all that kind of stuff. So I knew training. Training just, for me, it was more, I need to go to the gym. I want to build my biceps and stuff. It didn't have a deeper meaning at that point.
Yeah.
Where the nutrition did have a deeper meaning, because I could see how it affected people mentally, and I wanted to help that. The training was always a way to push yourself, but it wasn't until like the fibromyalgia diagnosis, where I wasn't supposed to be able to train, that it kind of took on a deeper meaning for me.
Dang.
So
okay.
Now it all means a whole lot.
Yeah. Okay, so when you got diagnosed and everything, did you already have Iron Fork already made?
No. So I had worked for different nutrition coaching companies and different gyms and everything. And I always had a hard time with them, because when you work for someone else, you have to coach the way they want you to. And so what I would see a lot of companies do they would kind of go with the trend, so they'd be like, hey, South Beach diet is popular right now. I want you to kind of try to ride that wave and push this style of dieting. And again, I don't want to be told what to do, especially if I don't think that's the right way. So I'll be like, no, I'm not going to push any certain diet. I'm going to push what's right for the client. Like, yeah, well, we'll pay you a little extra if you get more South Beach. Like, that's not what it's about. Like, the money's cool, but I'm not here to take people's money and not help them.
Yeah.
So I decided I need to make my own company, and then I can do things my way. And so now every program I write for a client, it's customized to them. If a client likes carbs, then we include lots of carbs. If they don't, then we don't. Like, we make it fit their lifestyle so that it can become their lifestyle.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't program fad diets.
Yeah. So do you remember that one day when you said, you know what, I'm going to wake up Thursday morning and I'm going to quit that other nutrition job and I'm going to do my own thing now?
It was actually, I'd kind of just stopped doing it altogether, honestly. I still coached people, but it was more, I coached friends and family. I would write them programs for free, and
by that, when you were doing that, you were writing them from your philosophy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But I didn't have an official company. I wasn't even making money. I was just, again, trying to help people.
Yeah.
And I would write, at this time, I took a job up at the smelter at Kennecott. So I was working on furnaces, doing crazy stuff, and then helping people there. I was writing, on my breaks, I was writing people programs. It was kind of crazy. But I loved doing it so much where I'm like, I'm exhausted and I need a break, but I would rather write you a program, so I'll do that.
Yeah.
It got to the point, too, where I was doing so many programs for people, whether it was nutrition or training, that on my days off, that was almost all I was doing. So I was like, okay, I need to charge a little bit. And I felt weird doing that because I didn't have an official company, but I was like, I have to charge something. So I started charging like $20, something small. And these were, multi-month programs for $20. I'm like, I'm not making anything here. I just need to, at least if I'm spending all my off time doing this, I need to make it somewhat worth it. And I found that when I charged a little bit, more people wanted to buy programs. And then, word of mouth kind of got around. People would see other people's progress, and business kept coming. So I was like, all right, let's see what I can do to this full time.
Yeah.
So I created an LLC and got someone to build me a website.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, I don't know anything about websites, so started doing that and kind of been doing that for the last, Iron Fork is about 3.5 years old now, officially, through the LLC. I didn't even have a name before that, but I've been doing it for 13 years now.
Wow.
So it took a long time to kind of build my own confidence that I could do it full time, and that that I could help enough people to make an impact.
Yeah, I like that, man. So this is what you do full time.
So it's still growing. I'm still learning the business side of things. And that's where some of that, kind of like we were talking about earlier, right before we started recording, you got to focus on what you're good at. I'm trying to learn a lot of the business stuff. So I know the nutrition, I know the training, I know the coaching, I know how to work with people. I don't know how to market. I am not much of a social media guy. I struggle kind of putting up my own content, I'll go a couple of weeks and someone will be like, hey, did you get rid of your Instagram? Like, oh, no, but I guess I should probably post something, huh? That's not what I think of. So I'm still trying to develop that side of things before it can be really full-time, quit everything and do it. So that's really the holdup right there, is learning the marketing.
Yeah.
The word of mouth is great, and that's what my whole business is built on right now, and it's doing really well. I have clients probably 48 out of the 50 states. I have international clients, and it's almost all word of mouth. So I need to learn the marketing side to take that next step, really.
Yeah, and sometimes, I think any part of the aspect of business is just hard.
Yeah.
Like it could be like marketing, it could be like, but the one thing I do know that you should know is like the thing that like, why are you making the business? Like even for my clothing brand, like, dude, I sometimes I don't even like talking about it because I get like almost like embarrassed, but like I honestly don't even know like who I'm targeting.
Yeah.
But I know for sure like what I want to do, and that's inspire people.
Yes.
And I know that's what I'm here to do, to inspire others. And how? Maybe through the clothing brand. I don't know, but that's the one part that I have a hard time with. That's why I'm trying to create all these things and do all these other, create new styles. Like, it's not even about the clothes, dude. Like,
exactly.
like it's about like helping people. How you mainly started, and it looks like you're doing good now.
And the thing is, you basically just said it. If you understand your why, you've got all the time to figure out how.
Yeah.
So just go for it. You'll figure it out as you go, and I learn a lot about the business side of things every day. So I know what I want to accomplish, and I know why. I'm figuring out the how as I go.
Yes. So I want to touch a little bit on the nutrition mindset / fitness part.
Cool.
So like, let's just ask the most obvious question right now. Okay. How do I get a 6-pack right now, right this second?
Right this second, you don't. Sorry.
It's all right. He's like, we gotta go run right now. Turn the podcast off.
6 packs.
Like, is there a perfect time to do it? Like, oh, I gotta get that summer bod, or just.
I mean, everything. Like I said earlier, all my programs are they are custom to each client.
Yeah.
And so it depends on where your starting point is, what your knowledge is. A lot of my goal is to teach people how to do it. I always tell people I don't want you to need me. So I have clients that have been with me for years, out of choice. They know what they're doing at this point, but they like the fact that I program for them, and they like the accountability. but I want to teach people enough to do it on their own for the rest of their life going forward. So there's a whole lot of stuff that kind of goes into it where I'll ask, your experience. Have you tried diets in the past? Did any of them work? Why or why not? Most of the time, when they don't work, it's an adherence issue. It's just not sustainable, Like take keto, for example. A lot of people try keto. A lot of people have good results. It's a very difficult diet to do forever. And so then they'll fall off, the weight comes back, and they think they're broken. So I ask all those kind of questions, and then we build from there. Mm-hmm. So what I like to do is there's a big questionnaire that I have everybody fill out. Mm-hmm. In that, I look for their strengths, and I build the program to accentuate their strengths. So if somebody's a numbers person, then that's awesome. Let's work on macros because you're going to really fit well with that. If someone's more of just wants to put meals together easily, we focus on kind of portion control. Mm. So we work on their strengths, and then I'll identify their weaknesses, and I'll try to teach that throughout the program. Mm. So if their weaknesses are they don't know what to eat, it's like, cool. I have recipe books. Let's go through that. Let's teach what to eat and why. Yeah. So that you can do it all the time. So as far as getting a 6-pack right now, I would have to talk to you about it.
Yeah. Well, are there different because I've heard there were 3 major body types. Is that true? I don't know. I forget the names of them. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, exactly.
It is true. It's not as big a deal as people make it out to be. So, same with metabolism speed. Some people I have a very slow metabolism. Most of the time, that's not true. If it is true, usually there's a medical issue, thyroid issue, something that you need to get taken care of. But with the body composition, it doesn't really make that much difference, to be honest. Where, someone might have to eat a little bit more to gain weight than someone else. Yeah. Sure. But it's not going to change what you eat. It might change the amount a little bit. It's not really going to change how you train. So it might slow progress or speed progress up a little bit, but it's in the long run, it's pretty negligible. Okay. So, for me, I'm super skinny, so I have to eat a little bit more to gain weight. But at the end of the day, it's not okay, well, you're an ectomorph, so you have chicken. You're an endomorph, so you have beef. It's not really that cut and dry. It's just some people need to eat a little more.
I like how you're yeah, I'm a skinny guy. Dude, have you seen his arms, dude? It's so big.
This just comes from eating.
So do you think, from what you've seen with all your clients, and you don't have to name a specific person, but what is the most common thing that you've seen with people? I don't want to say failing, but falling off the wagon, or not feeling confident, or what's the one thing that you've seen that is almost a pattern where people fall off, or they just quit?
As far as dieting, there's probably 2 main pitfalls that I see. One is the weekend. The weekend kills everybody. Yeah. And so...
Yeah, dude, I had last weekend... Nah, dude, I was eating trash, dude. And it makes me feel like crap, dude. Yes. Yeah.
And to be honest, there is a time to eat a crap meal. I don't believe in eating clean 100% of the time. There is a time to go out and have some loaded burger with greasy fries.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there is.
Five Guys, dude.
Yeah.
Five Guys. Oh, my gosh. So
I have
good.
Five Guys before a heavy deadlift day. That's my favorite. And a big bag of fries.
Oh, yeah.
But what I try to do is kind of a 90-10 thing, where it's hey, 90% let's focus on whole, kind of single ingredient, nutrient dense foods. And then 10%, have your ice cream, have food that I don't like saying good and bad foods. I think that kind of creates some unfair stereotypes. A Twinkie isn't necessarily bad. A box of Twinkies a day, yeah. But if you had,
The habit is bad.
yes, and it can be. And so is demonizing foods. So I try to focus on nutrient-dense foods and nutrient-deficient foods. So 90% of the times, try to choose nutrient-dense foods. The other 10, and we still equate everything for calories. But it's like, okay, you have 500 calories today to eat whatever you want. If you want to have chocolate syrup straight into your mouth, 500 calories worth, go for it. I don't care. Like, there is a time for that, and mentally there's a time for that too.
Yeah.
I'm doing a nutrition program for a powerlifter right now. He's going through kind of a tough time, and so he contacted me and said he needed a diet break. No problem. Like, we back the calories off a little bit. We increase his calories at this point because we have a weight class that we're trying to get him into.
Okay.
So we increase his calories a little bit, loosen up a few of the rules that we had with him, and let him kind of mentally deal with what he has going on, and we'll get back into it. It's so there is a time and place for that. But what I was going to say about the weekend is, when normal people diet, they'll do, for girls especially, they'll starve themselves all week. They'll do 1,000 calories all week, right? And then the weekend comes and they'll go out. And I say girls especially just because there's a bigger calorie difference generally with girls. Because they're great at starving themselves all week. But then on the weekend they go out and they'll have their drinks and they'll go, share a pizza with their friends. And the calories add up so quickly that it kind of erases the entire deficit that they created throughout the week.
Wow.
So that's a big issue. And so I believe in programming in cheat meals. So, hey, I'm going out with my girlfriends, or we're having a guys' night on Friday. Cool. Let's adjust your day Friday so that you have a whole bunch of extra calories saved up for the evening. Have fun. Go out and do it. And a lot of things too, another pitfall for nutrition is not tracking the little things. So say I program someone for 1,800 calories, and they're losing weight on that, and then they start adding condiments and they start adding little things like that add up. And now they're eating, without realizing it, they're eating 2,200 calories a day.
Yeah.
Even though they're only tracking 1,800 of it. So, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I'm not saying condiments are bad, but when your weight loss slows because you're adding in a few hundred calories that you don't realize, that's where the teaching comes in. And that's where, that's why I do like one-on-one coaching with them. So, okay, well, let's talk about what you ate this week. And, they'll start telling me, well, I had eggs and this for breakfast. Okay, did you put anything on the eggs? Well, yeah, I had some ketchup and some of this. I'm like, okay, well, how much ketchup? Ketchup on eggs, totally fine. But you added 50 calories to your breakfast. So it's just the fact that you're adding hidden calories in, really. And that's an easy thing to fix. And it's just basically shining a light on it. And, okay, we can totally keep having these condiments. Let's just track for them. Not a problem. Those are just some of the pitfalls, though, that'll kind of sneak up on people. Yeah. And the bigger issue, again, is when people think they're eating 1,200 calories a day, let's say, but they're actually eating 1,800 because of what they had on the weekend. Their cheat meals were bigger. They weren't counting their little hidden calories. Then they say, I'm eating 1,200 calories and I still can't lose weight. I must be broken. Yeah. And that's the bigger issue. So I don't ever want to make someone feel like they are bad or weak because they had a cheat meal. And I don't want anybody to ever think that they're broken because they can't lose weight over something small like not counting your ketchup.
Yeah. So those little things, that just add up.
Yeah.
Like pennies, you know? You
Yeah,
have
exactly.
like 1,000 pennies. That's like, I don't even know, $10. But still, like, that's
Yeah.
more than $0. Like,
For sure.
you know?
And if you take a penny as a calorie, and all of a sudden you have 1,000 calories you didn't count
Whew,
for.
yeah.
I mean, and again, that's not a bad thing. It's just when these little tiny oversights lead to something bigger, like you think you're broken. That's the issue. So
Yeah.
you want people to. The whole point of fitness, to me, the whole point of training is to build someone's confidence.
Yeah.
And so when these little tiny things pop up and it's crushing their confidence, then one, the coach isn't doing their job. So you need to help people through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the whole point to me is if you, well, kind of like I was saying with the fibromyalgia, I'm not supposed to be able to pick that up because the nerves in my hands are going crazy right now and they hurt. I'm going to pick that up anyway.
Yeah.
Like kind of showing yourself that you can do things that you didn't think you could do.
Yes.
That pushes your confidence through the roof.
Yes.
And when you can start translating that confidence into other areas of your life, I mean, who knew that one set of squats could help you get a better job later? Because you didn't think you could do that set, but you did. And so you went back to work and said, well, I'm actually going to go for this promotion. And you get it because of the confidence you got from the squats. Like, that's a little bit of an extreme example, but the principles are the same.
I like that you did touch on how you're switching to like the mentality part. So because have you ever heard of Andy Frisella?
I have.
And his podcast and everything.
Uh-uh.
So he was talking about I forgot what episode it was, but he was saying that like a lot of people think that the gym is all like physical.
Yeah.
But it's 100% mental.
Absolutely.
Because when you've been going for a week, but then hey, you have to go Saturday.
Yeah.
That's when you get tested.
Yes.
Because like, dude, Saturday is such a beautiful day out. I could go longboarding. I could go, picking peppers from my yard. Like, but you have to go.
Yeah.
Like those are like test days. So this is all mental. Like, and I noticed this too. I used to like. Let's say I'm doing, I don't know, just name a workout. Like, I'll be doing a workout. We're working biceps, for example, right? Okay. Working biceps, and then it hurts.
I'm supposed to do 10, but it hurts at 6.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I'll do 8.
Yeah.
Because it hurts already. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's like, what I used to do that. Or I used to be like, you know what? I am going to do 8 instead of 10.
Yes.
Like it hurts, like I'm pushing it. I'm really like
I tried. I got here.
Yeah. And so now I would be like when I start thinking that, like, I'm gonna do 10, but then I start turning at 6, I wanna do 8. Guess what? Now that I thought that, I make myself do 12.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
there you go.
Dude, that hurts, and I and I recently started implementing like new equipment to my workout, like, and I don't have like a specific like, hey, I'm gonna do chest, and I guess that's right. I need to get better at and kind of plan it, instead of like, well, whatever machine's open, I'll do.
Yeah.
So I mess up on that. I'm not gonna lie, but I do have like my routine that I would like to do, and then I'll be like, I'm gonna add something new.
Okay.
So that's what I do. But going back to the mindset, like, what is something that keeps you like, I don't want to say motivated, but disciplined in like that? Like, what do you tell yourself?
Well,
like even with eating, or like we're even going to the gym.
You brought up so much stuff there. I love it. For one, let's go back just a little bit. When you were saying the hard part is when you don't want to go on a Saturday, but you need to.
Yeah. When
you take that and kind of blow it up just a little bit, you take it as the eating part. The gym is the easy part. The gym is the fun part.
Yeah.
The food is where the discipline comes in. So when
That's my hard time, dude.
Really? And that's where you need to test yourself.
Yes,
so
yes.
That's a huge thing. But I want to ask you something real quick. When you're programmed for a set of 10 and you do a set of 8, how do you feel versus when you're programmed for a set of 10 and you do a set of 12? What's the mental difference between the two for you?
After when I do, let's say I do the 8, right? I almost like convince myself that it's okay. Yeah. Because it hurts.
Okay.
But when I do 12 instead of when I'm supposed to do 10, because I want to stop at 6, I literally just look in the mirror, because I'm like usually in the mirror. And I'm like, hell yeah. And then I flex and like it hurts. But then like I get like it feels like there's a reason why I'm here, you know? But like it's more purposeful.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, well, I showed up.
So that's the difference between accomplishing something and settling for something.
I like that.
So, I mean, let's go back to the promotion. You could settle for an entry-level position because even though you know you're worth more than that, because that's what is open, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll settle for the entry level. But you know, I went to school for this, or I'm good at this, I know what I'm doing. So if you had that confidence because you have taught yourself to do 12 instead of 10, then you're going to say, actually, that's the job I want, and that's the job I'm qualified, and that's the job that I deserve. And you're going to go for that one instead. Yeah. And so it translates into your life. Like, your whole life is going to be just way more fulfilling, let's say. Yeah. Because you're willing to put yourself out there. You're willing to... Yes. You know that you can do the things that are hard. you can't do the things that maybe your mind tells you can't. You say, no, I can. And that's where a lot of that comes from me. Is back to your question is, what do I tell myself is, so farmer's carries, let's say. Right now I'm training for a strongman competition. And again, it's not because I'm going to go out and be a pro strongman, but it's because it's getting me out of my comfort zone, proving that I can do something that I shouldn't be able to do. So farmer's carries are a tough one for me because my hands basically always hurt. The nerves in my hands are super active and sending pain signals. So just picking up those handles hurts. The competition I'm doing, it'll be October. It's 250 pounds per hand for farmers. Wow. And then you pick them up and you run basically as far as you can.
Try to run, seconds. I think.
Yeah. you stumble quickly. Yeah. But every time I go to train them, I train them Mondays. And I train them at the end of my workout after deadlifts and everything. I'm always like, I'm spent. I worked hard for deadlifts. I should just go home. Mm-hmm. Or, go shower. That would feel real nice and chill. But I've trained myself to say, no, you suck at this, at these farmers. That's why you don't want to do them, because they hurt and you're not good at them. So that means you should probably do more of them. Oh, so yeah. I'll stay and I'll get them done. But there's always that voice that wants you to settle. There's that voice that says...
Have you ever settled?
Oh, I have, for sure. And there's been days where it doesn't happen often, but there have been days where I've gotten to the gym, sat in the parking lot, said, screw it, gone home, and just skipped the whole gym.
Not gonna lie. I've done that like once or twice. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it happens. And, it'll happen with clients and everything. And with my clients, I try to get them to be honest with me. Like, if you do that, tell me. It's okay. We're human. It happens. Yeah. But what I like to do is figure out why. And then let's work on it. So, if it's because you just weren't confident in yourself that day, you went in there and be like, I don't even have it. I don't think it won't even be worth it to go in there, Yeah. Then let's figure out why, and let's work on that. And with myself too. So if I do that, and it hasn't happened for a long time, because when I get to the gym, if I ever get that feeling, I will take time in the parking lot, just say, okay, why? Why do I want to go home right now? Is it because I'm being lazy? Is it because my hands hurt? Or is it because my mind just isn't confident in it right now?
Yeah.
And then when I kind of figure out, be honest with myself, be like, all right, I'm being lazy. Like, all right, well, that's not a good excuse. Get your ass in there and do it. So
Yeah.
I'll figure out why, and then I'll work through it.
Yeah.
But it's happened for sure.
Yeah, man. Like, I think, I mean, if you haven't sat in the parking lot for like 10, maybe 15 minutes before you go in, like, are you even human, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, dude, there's the one that I go to is like, there's like a bunch of food around. I'm just like,
At the gym?
or the places around the gym.
Got you.
And I'm like, oh, dude, that smoothie sounds so good.
Oh, wow.
Like,
There was a gym I used to train at. They had a KFC. It was like the gym in the back of the parking lot, you know.
yeah.
And sometimes it'd be busy, so I park in the back, and you get out and just smell
Yep.
KFC. You're like, oh my hell, that smells so good. Well, fried chicken is like chicken, right? That kind of counts.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll eat that after. And,
Dude, no, I've actually, you know, gone to the gym and like I feel good, but then I feel so hungry, and I'm like, all right, well, Chick-fil-A it is, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
you know, like, and if anybody's ever done that, like, we're in the same boat, you know.
Absolutely.
Like, and I'm sure that a lot of people have done it.
Yeah,
And-
I do it once in a while still. Or I'll have like a real hard training session. Like, I deserve a burger now.
Yeah.
No, I'll try to play that card on myself.
Yeah,
And
man.
At the end of the day, you really have to be honest with yourself, and you have to know yourself well enough to know why you're doing something. So if I'm trying to say, okay, I deserve a burger right now, like, all right, do you really? Or do you just want a burger? Like, are you trying to justify eating a burger? And I'm not against burgers. It's just an example. But when you're super hungry like that, I'm a big proponent of meal prep. I meal prep all my food.
That's what I have a hard time with. Like, so for me, I don't want to say easy, but what do I want to say? I am like easier. It's easier for me to eat like every 3 to 4 hours, and it's, you know, in the morning I'll like a protein shake, and then like before lunch I'll have like a protein bar, and then I'll have the lunch like an hour or two later, and you know, just every 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
But there are times when like I feel like I do need to eat like actual food. Yeah. Instead of just like protein bars, protein shakes, like, and it's like For sure. So like, how can I guess this is for me, you know, but if anyone else is in the same boat, like, you know, but so what can I do to set myself up for, like, I guess for success in the fitness world?
Okay. So you mentioned one of the things that I always ask clients is, how many meals per day do you usually eat? Yeah. Because there are coaches out there that'll tell you 1 meal a day is magic. There are people that'll tell you 6 meals a day is magic. And the truth is, none of them are magic. It's whatever you can stick to. Yeah. So if 3 meals a day and 2 snacks, that's probably the most common that people do, works, then great. If you want to have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner and have a few meal prep snacks, perfect. But so you like to eat every few hours like that. That works for you. That's great. I like to meal prep. So, like for me personally, I have a protein shake in the morning because I'm generally not super hungry when I wake up. Yeah. But I'll add real food to it. So I'll do like liquid egg whites, a scoop of protein, and then I'll add fruit or peanut butter or oats, whatever I need for that day, and I'll add real food to it. So that I still am getting a lot of the nutrients that I need. And it's not just a protein powder. I'm not just ticking off the macros. I'm actually adding nutrition to it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then, let's say, like you said, you'll have lunch, and then you need a snack in the...
Before lunch.
A little bit before. Just kind of find the things you like, and then depending on what your goals are, I don't know if you're trying to add weight, lose weight, easy things. Like I mentioned before, I have a couple cookbooks, and there's a lot of kind of snack ideas in there. Yeah. One of my favorite things is I'll get some Greek yogurt, so there's high protein, and then I'll blend it with peanut butter. So I'll do like a tablespoon of peanut butter and 4 ounces of Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
And I'll add, there's this liquid stevia that I like. It's calorie free. And there's a butter toffee. I'll put a drop or 2 in there and I'll blend it up so it gets fluffy.
Yeah.
And then I'll slice up an apple. And then I'll dip that apple in the protein in the yogurt and peanut butter. And that's my snack. So in that, there might be 25 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs, and 12 grams of fat.
I like that.
But I know that I like that, and so I'll prep that as a snack so that it's there. So that I'm not going to find myself in a position where I'm not prepared and I get hungry, and so I hit the vending machine because I didn't plan. And that's so easy to prepare, that apple thing, because let's say I'm going to prep for a 5-day work week.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do a half a cup of the Greek yogurt and a tablespoon of peanut butter, you just do 2.5 cups of Greek yogurt and 5 tablespoons of peanut butter, blend it up, and then separate it out equally. It takes a couple minutes, and you've prepped a snack for the whole week.
Yeah.
So finding stuff like that it basically takes the same amount of time to prep for the week as it does to prep one of them for one day.
Yeah,
Trying to kind of find things like that it's real easy. Like with rice, you're going to cook your rice for 12 minutes, whether it's 1 cup or it's 8 cups. Yeah. So might as well just do the 8 and have the rice for the whole week.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm just lazy with it. But at the same time, I don't know. It's hard for me to cook. I don't want to say it as an excuse, but I've burnt popcorn. No. I mean, burned. It caught on fire while I was in the microwave. So it's I don't know. When I bite into my hot pocket, dude, half of it's cold. I don't know how to cook anything.
That's the same for everyone.
Yeah,
that's a hot pocket issue, not a you issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so burning popcorn. This was not even a year ago, I don't think. I burnt popcorn so bad that my house smelled like popcorn for at least a week.
Really? Oh my!
I hate pushing just the popcorn button.
Yeah.
Just relying on it. I have trust issues, I guess. So I'll just hit the 30-second button till there's 8 minutes. I'll just hit it a whole bunch of times. Yeah. And then I'll just listen to it. Right?
Yeah.
And then I'll decide when I want to stop it. Well, I don't remember exactly what happened, but one of my kids distracted me. So I ran upstairs, and all of a sudden I smell popcorn. Oh, crap. And I run downstairs, the same thing. Thing was on fire.
Yeah.
I opened it, just smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
The microwave smelled like burnt popcorn for months. So, you're not alone. I've burnt popcorn too. And I think I'm a pretty damn good cook, but it happens.
Right, so tell me a little about Iron Fork Nutrition. When somebody signs up with you, and I know you ask them, you have them sign up with you have them do a questionnaire, right? And you just ask them questions, but what is it that you do with the food? Do you ship the food, or do you have it shipped to them, or
No, there's no food prep for that. I teach them how to prep their own food.
Oh, so you tell them this is what you should get.
Yeah.
And they go out and go do that.
So,
okay.
With the questionnaire, we'll go through their goals. Again, their strengths, their weaknesses are all part of that. I try to word the questions so clients don't really see it as their weaknesses, because it can be hard to tell you. That's why I say, have you tried any diets in the past?
Yeah.
Did they work? Why or why not? They'll tell me, and I will kind of pull out, okay, it didn't work because they like carbs and the diet said they couldn't have any. Mm-hmm. So they don't know they're giving me that information, but I kind of pull bits and pieces out from that. And then I'll build the program, and with the program, there's multiple parts to it. Let's just take a nutrition program.
Do you do both, workout programs?
Yeah.
And okay.
Yep, I do everything. So with the nutrition specifically, I have different kinds, weight loss, weight gain, whatever the case is. On the first page, what I do is I break down their macros very evenly. So let's say they wanted 5 meals a day. I'll break down their protein, carbs, fats evenly into categories, just so they can see, okay, this is a goal. I need 30 grams of protein per meal, let's say, and this many carbs. Then I have a whole list underneath of foods. So for the protein category, there's probably 20 different proteins. And for whatever their goal is, let's say 30 grams of protein per meal, I'll go and I'll write the weights for each of those proteins that equate to 30 grams. And then I'll do the same for carbs. I have a whole category of fruits in there that will count as carbs, vegetables, and fats. That way, if there's somebody that wants to create their own meals, get creative with it, have fun, they can kind of say, okay, well, here's the protein I need, here's a carb, here's a fat, here's some fruit, and they can make their own meals from it. That gives people a lot of freedom, and it allows for a lot of learning the process. And then I also do, on the second page, there are people who want to be told what to eat and when. So they want, so I have actual meal plans that I'll create specifically for them. In the questionnaire, are you allergic to any foods? Do you have sensitivities? What are some of your favorite foods? Foods you don't like? That kind of stuff. And I'll make an actual meal plan. Yeah. And I'll say, okay, meal 1, this many eggs, this many egg whites, whatever the case is. It's different for everybody. Or a protein shake or whatever. Yeah. That way they can look at that and they know exactly how much of it, when. It's laid out exactly. You can't mess it up. Yeah. So, and some people want to do both, They're following the meal plan and they say, hey, you know what? I don't want chicken for this meal. I just don't. So, on the first page, they can go and this is where the learning comes in. Where like, actually, shrimp sounds really good. So what should I do with shrimp? There's shrimp, maybe quinoa. Let's do this cool salad, Yeah. And so it starts teaching people how to create meals on the fly, whatever the case is, and make it sustainable. Because
I like that.
If it's just a meal plan, then when the program's over and they're sick of that food, like, okay, well, what do I do now? So during the whole program, I try to teach people how to, if they're going to go out to eat, how to make that fit. And, and it doesn't have to be chicken and rice and broccoli every meal. And that's where the cookbooks come in. The cookbooks are included with the program so that they say, actually, that sounds really good. How do I fit that in? Cool, let's go over it. And we can video chat with my clients or text, phone calls, all sorts of stuff. Whatever works best for them. Yeah. Because, again, I have clients all over the country, so I can't really speak face-to-face with everybody. Yeah. So I work with them to teach them really how to make this whole thing a lifestyle and as simple as possible.
I like that.
So, and I even have some programs don't even talk about calories and macros. Some are just portion control stuff. Yeah. So it's like, okay, a portion of protein is about the size of your palm. For you, we're going to do 6 portions per day. Whether if you want to do 3 meals, that means 2 portions per meal. If you want to, make it, break it down so you don't even have to count calories. It all depends on the client and what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, their experience, everything.
Yeah, I like that. I like to just go and they can almost get creative with what they're with all the food that they have in front of them. Really, I like that, man.
And it's all about learning because anybody can just do what the coach tells you. Yeah. But I don't want people to need me. I want people to learn this on their own and gain the confidence that they can do it so that it can be a lifelong pursuit.
I like that a lot. Hey, so I want to ask a couple questions. We're running low on time. Cool. But so with Iron Fork right now, what do you have going on?
Ooh, personally or with the company?
Both.
Let's see. Okay. Personally, like I said, I'm training for a strongman competition just to get out of my own comfort zone. Yeah. Force myself to do things I'm not good at in front of people.
Yeah. So I like that. When is that?
That's in October.
Nice.
So I'm learning. That's what all this is. Programming for it. Yeah. And then as far as the company, see, projects I've got right now. I've been working on what I call the Alpha series, and that goes to the confidence thing. So I have, let's see, how do I explain this? It's a program that touches on a whole bunch of different demographics, that works on overall fitness. Mm-hmm. So there's a portion of the program that deals with strength. There's a portion that deals with kind of muscular endurance. There's a portion that deals with conditioning. And then I have different versions of it for everybody. So I have an alpha male for the normal guy out there, and people are loving this one. For the guy out there that wants to be able to translate the strength into normal life, you know. Mm-hmm. Let's say a guy sees someone with a flat tire on the side of the road. They go to help, but they're not quite strong enough to really help them with the tire, you know. So I try to create a program that translates into life, that's fun to do, that'll shed fat, burn or build muscle, but also help your neighbor lift the couch up into the house, you know, to move, whatever the case is. So I have an alpha male, I have alpha police. I've seen a lot of the programs for police that are just get on the treadmill and run for a half hour. Yeah. That doesn't translate to the job. So there's things like sled pulls, because if they pull up on an accident and they need to pull someone from safety, treadmill's not going to help at all. But they've been training weighted sled pulls, so now they can drag someone to safety. Yeah. So it translates. Have alpha military. I have an alpha hunter that I'm developing right now to help people get ready for hunting season. I have an alpha female that I'm working on right now. Because alpha to me isn't a masculine thing. Alpha, it represents the confidence thing to me. Yeah. Again, if you see someone with a flat tire, you're going to be confident enough to help them, pull over and help. So I've been working on that whole series, and that's been a lot of fun. Because, again, I view it as a confidence-building training program. And then just overall, just building the company, working on the marketing stuff, and getting the word out there.
Yeah, man. I like it. Yeah, you're showing me a couple like alpha stuff. Like I like it a lot.
Yeah, good.
Looks good, man. So where can people find you on social media?
On social media, I'm on Instagram. I'm ray.ironfork. On Facebook, it's Iron Fork Nutrition. I have a website, it's ironforknutrition.com. That's about all the social media stuff I've got. Yeah, that's it.
That's good. Yeah,
and to be honest, like I said, I'm terrible at social media, so anything that gets posted on Facebook was directly from Instagram. It means I posted on Instagram and it just went straight to Facebook. Yeah. I had to think about what the Facebook page even was. I'm not good at that side of things. But
hey, we're all learning, you know?
Yeah, like, for sure.
Like, if you're not having a hard time in your business, you know, like, I think you have to learn. Yeah, you know? And, Ray, I want to ask you one more question. If you can summarize it up in in a minute. Okay. What advice would you give to others?
Ooh. I like the idea of getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So find what you're bad at and go do a whole bunch more of it. So
I like that.
And that can translate to everything. So
yeah. Yep. Dude, I like that a lot, dude. Ray, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And all his links are going to be in the description below of this podcast. Make sure you guys leave a review. I'd appreciate it. Make sure you follow Ray right now or right after this podcast. But just remember, everybody, if somebody else can do it, so can you.